Dozens of schools across the North Island have closed as Cyclone Gabrielle intensifies. The Secretary for Education provided written support to school boards, kura and early learning centres to close if they consider it's not safe to continue with the on-site teaching and learning. Leanne Otene from Rarawa is the new New Zealand Principals Federation's president, the first wahine Maori to take on the role. She is the principal also of Mania View School in Whangarei, and she's with us now. Tēnā koe, Leanne. Thank you for joining us.
Tēnā koe.
Now, dozens of Tai Tokerau schools have closed today, including yours, Mania View School. Was this a difficult decision to make for you?
No, not at all. It's all about the health and safety of our whānau. And when you take into account the high winds, the possibility of power cuts, the rain, it was a very simple decision to make. It's all about the health and safety of our whānau.
And what's the past 24 hours been like in your rohe?
Well, it's pretty rough. I'm 25 minutes south of Whangarei, and so we had high winds from about midday yesterday. And then, of course, the rain came later on in the evening, and then the power cuts. Very noisy. The wind was very noisy. And I was hearing that people were very anxious about that. And, of course, we've seen flooding across our region.
Now, having a look now at your new role, the New Zealand Principal Federation's president, what are you hoping to bring to this role?
Well, look, I've got 30 years' experience as a school principal, so, I bring that, first of all. The relationships that I have nurtured and over the years have definitely played a part in making this as an easy transition into a leadership role. You call on all of those relationships, those educational relationships, to ensure that you have got people you can talk to, that you can, discuss things with and make the best decisions that you need to make. So, there's a lot that goes into building a group of people you can call on.
And what are your thoughts around strengthening and supporting Maori education?
Look, I am 100% going to make sure that in my tenure as president, that's one of the things that I do. Okay. We need to strengthen Māori education. So first of all, working with Te Akatea Māori Principals Association, they have the mandate, if you like, for looking after principal leadership. Secondly, with the Māori Achievement Collaborative, who work with schools across New Zealand on kaupapa in and around ensuring that principals and schools not only understand the tiriti of Waitangi, but also enact it in their schools. So working with those two organisations, primarily to start with, will be my focus.
Leanne, the government's new school curriculum focuses on the history of Aotearoa. Well, this will be rolled out this year. Are principals feeling prepared, ready to implement the new curriculum?
Look, I've been part of the development of Aotearoa New Zealand histories, working alongside the ministry for over this time. It is a absolutely aspirational document. It is one that I personally would like to ensure is embedded into our curriculum. There is a lot of work to be done, though. Schools do need professional development to support them.
Now, I just wanted to ask you about this equity index that's being introduced this year to replace the nearly 30-year-old decile system. What do you believe didn't work with the decile system?
Well, first and foremost, the decile system had a perception that a decile 10 meant a good school and a decile 1 was a poor school. So, consequently, we had a drift away from lower to higher decile schools. So our lower decile schools became smaller and therefore with fewer resources, and higher decile schools grew their roles and attracted higher funding. So inequities grew in our system. This also meant that a higher concentration of Māori and Pacific Island tamariki were in our lower decile schools, which did not help our ambitions to overcome discrimination and racism and low expectations of our people.
Yeah, nicely said. How do you think then that this new framework might help to distribute funding more equitably?
Well, theoretically, the equity index is a better way to fund a real need, no matter where it is found, whether it is in, schools with large numbers of Māori and Pacifica or not. Our concern, though, is how this criteria will be applied to identify the need. The factors that trigger funding may be open to interpretation, for example. We also do not want any more paperwork and administration to get the funding to meet the needs of our tamariki.
Leanne Otene, the New Zealand Principals Federation's President, thank you so much for joining us today and congratulations again on your new role.
Ngā mihi ki a koe.